The Bible tells us that the Christian walk is made up of two paths. Daily, we must make the choice of either following the path of godly living, which leads to life, or the path of the world, which leads to death. For as James reminds us, we can't walk with God and hold hands with the devil. Hello, this is Lisa Moore from the Christian Kitchen Table with this week's Sip of the Word. After Stephen was martyred in Jerusalem, the Jewish Christians were persecuted, driven from the city, and scattered throughout the land. They were unwelcome in their new communities and faced great pressure to fit in with those around them. They felt the pull of drifting back into their own ways, of trying to walk with one foot on the worldly path and the other on the path of God. But the ways of God and the ways of the world are so completely opposite that it's impossible to love one without hating the other. And as James tells us, friendship with the world is hostility towards God. James 4:4. Today's society encourages us to live for our individual glory. It tells us that it's not wrong to pursue a life dedicated to pleasing the lust of the flesh. A mentality of, if it feels good, do it, is not only encouraged, but celebrated. We are fed lies that say we are God in our lives, and it is us who deserves the worship. And if we don't agree with the sinful and destructive ways of the world, we are regarded as bigots and close-minded. We are laughed at, ridiculed, and in some parts of the world even tortured and killed. It's not a good feeling to be constantly told that our beliefs are wrong, to be ostracized from those around us. Standing in faith can be hard, especially when faced with persecution, or when the people you love and care about turn away from you. The pain is real, and so it's easy to see why many Christians fall into the trap of compromise and spiritual adultery. But as James tells us, whoever wishes to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God. Does this mean James was instructing believers to live in a cocoon, shutting ourselves away from the world? Of course not. James is saying that we are to stand strong in our faith while loving and praying for those who don't know Christ as their Savior. But how do we stand strong against the pressure from the world? Submit, therefore, to God. Resist the devil, and he will resist you. James 4:7. The enemy loves nothing more than to see God's people weak, both in mind and spirit. He delights at our failings. But we can withstand whatever he throws our way by submitting ourselves to the Lord. Submitting means trusting God's wisdom and will, receiving his power and love, and obeying all that he commands. Through every battle and temptation, we are never fighting alone. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. James 4:8. God is always there with open arms, waiting to be invited into every part of our lives. By spending time with him worshiping, talking, and praying, we establish a closeness with him, an unbreakable bond. He promises to be faithful in shielding us from the schemes of Satan and in strengthening us against the temptations of an ungodly world. For as promised in 2 Thessalonians 3:3, the Lord is faithful, and he will strengthen and protect you from the evil one. This is Lisa Moore from the Christian Kitchen Table saying, the grass may wither and the flower may fade, but the word of our God will stand forever.